It's the most wonderful time of the year. We have discounts in Enlisted, much premium squads on sale. It's that favorite time of year. It's the most wonderful time and Enlisted. Well, hello everyone, my name is Bungle, and much requested here on this channel today talking about Enlisted, the World War II free-to-play first-person shooter, kind of talking about the holiday sale that's going on right now, kind of getting your little Christmas spirit, holiday spirit here, and got my notes here kind of talking about what I recommend picking up and everything, and Enlisted, the World War II free-to-play first-person shooter. So we got my notes here. We're going to go through this, talk about, you know, what's it going to have, what's the discounts, and my recommendations, because I pretty much reviewed, I think, all the premium squads in the game right now, besides aircraft, because aircraft are useless. But we'll go into it, we'll dive into it, and we'll go. So start off right now, the holidays are getting closer, and stock up with some good spirit and everything you need with gold discounts. So they're going to have great discounts here in Enlisted with everything. They're going to stock up and get some holiday spirit right now going on in Enlisted. So this goes from December 21st all the way to December 28th. And just keep that in mind as well. So store discounts. All right, so if you're playing on the computer, this is going to be on the store. And this is kind of only exclusive for PC players. So for my console players, there'll be timestamps down below in the video, but you can stick around if you want to, and most of you are probably going to leave at this point. But PC packs, they're starting on 50% discount. So first off, we got the Battle Moscow, the machine gun bundle. All right, so if you're kind of wondering about, hey Bungle, you know, talking about these premium squads and everything like that, I have my premium playlist linked in the description. So as we're going through this video and you got some questions or you want to look at some gameplay, some reviews, just go click on that premium playlist and go look for the squad that I'm talking about. If you're interested in picking it up, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But starting off with the Battle Moscow, the machine gun bundle, honestly, that's a pretty good bundle, I think, for the Germans. They get a really good machine gun with that. The Russians, they get like this Chakot, Lend-Lease French machine gun. It's really just plays like a sniper rifle because the fire rate's so bad and it controls terribly. So just keep that in mind. Honestly, with the new Lewis gun and the MG13 drum mag, premium squads just got released. Those are way better, but I mean, it's 50% off if you want to go and haven't started grinding the campaign in the Axis and for the Russians, and you know, I would say it's kind of a good deal just to pick it up. Next, we got the Invasion Normandy machine gun bundle. Without a doubt, I would consider picking those up. The BAR for the Germans and for the Americans are really good, really solid squad. You can easily take it out, do well, and highly recommend picking that up. The Battle Berlin, the Assaulters bundle. So the Russians get a really good things like PPD, 40 DSD, whatever. It's basically like a PPSH, so it's very, very good. The Germans get an MP40 with like a dual mag system. The problem with that squad, I don't really like it that much because you often will find yourself, the MP40 doesn't really hit hard, and at the same time is that when you're reloading the mechanism on it, it kind of takes like a quick half a second to reload to switch to the other mag, because you have like two mags inside an MP40 platform, and honestly it's just kind of weaker of the two squads. But like I said, if you haven't played Battle Berlin or you're grinding it and you need a really good, you know, you just want a premium squad to pick up for cheap, consider doing that. The Soviet one is a great deal. I would get the Soviet one. The Battle of Tunisia, Battle of Tunisia, the Motorcyclist bundle. All right, so the Motorcyclist bundle, in my opinion, is kind of a gimmicky squad. I think they were like came equipped with like level 2 weapons and stuff, and basically the gimmick with them is that they can equip a primary and a secondary, and you can equip whatever weapon you want from the tech tree, so that's pretty cool. But I equipped like an M1 carbine or something and a Thompson on my British crew. So I mean, it's not a bad, I mean, it's half off. I would consider picking it up if you haven't played Battle Tunisia, Battle Tunisia. The motorcycle, really, what are you going to use it for? It's just to move around the battlefield quickly. You get an engineer in that squad so you can kind of go and like build spawn points and stuff like that, and you can get XP that way. All right, next we have separate PC packs at 30% discount. All right, so these separate packs, basically, these are the bundles I was talking about earlier. Now these separate packs, if you just want to get one specific squad, this is kind of like where you hone in on it. Now the Moscow Normandy starter pack and the Tunisia Berlin starter pack, I wouldn't recommend these two packs just because you already get these as you go grind through the campaign levels. They're really nothing special with the soldiers and everything like that. I think they're kind of a scam. It's like $5. But really, at the end of the day, like, honestly, you're gonna unlock these anyway. They don't really do anything for you. So I'll kind of just save your money and pass on both of those. Battle of Moscow, the Chakot squad, I would hard pass on that one. Like I said earlier, it does not play like a machine gun. It plays like a sniper rifle or a very slow semi-auto rifle where you have to fire it in like one round at a time, because if you don't, it will kick and it gets really, really bad with the recoil and it has a slow fire rate. So just keep that in mind. I would pass that, but the Battle Moscow MG30 squad is really solid, so I consider picking it up, especially since they're going to remove it, because you're going to have the premium MG13 with a drum mag kind of take its place. So if you have that with the MG30, you're going to have a really good time playing Germany and the Battle of Moscow campaign. Now, the Invasion of Normandy, the Browning M1918 squad, and the Invasion of Normandy, basically the German BAR, those two squads I would definitely pick up, just because, like I said, the BAR is a great weapon platform. Even with the machine gun nerfs they had a while back on it, it still performs very well in semi-auto or auto mode. Usually I just fire semi-auto, just press H on your keyboard or the select fire for console, and just fire it as a battle rifle or a semi-auto rifle, and it does really, really well. Now the Battle Berlin, the PBD 40 DSZ, I would definitely pick that up. That is probably the best assaulter squad in the game, hands down. The PBD 40 DSZ just plays like the PPSH 41, is very fast, hits really hard, and melts a lot of soldiers very quickly. Very fun squad. Battle Berlin MP40/1 squad, honestly, like I said, I don't really like this squad just because MP40s is kind of weak, especially in Battle Berlin. And with the fact with the drum mag, like the dual mag system it's got on it, you still have like half a second reload, and it's the same thing like the gold order weapon that a lot of people are like hyping up, like the EMP 1944 or whatever. Those things, I just don't like them, because the thing is that like you burn through the magazine really quickly, and at the same time then you have to go do a little like 5 second, half a second reload, and that like half second actually makes a big difference, especially in close quarters. I'd rather just take a drum mag that has a lot of rounds versus something like that, because with a drum mag at least you get like a lot of rounds and you kind of quickly reload it and move on. But this dual mag half a second reload thing, it doesn't work for me. I don't really like it. I mean, if you don't really have assaulter squads, you like the review I did on it, whatever, you're thinking about picking it up, maybe consider it, but honestly, I don't like it. Battle Tunisia, the WD Big 4 squad, and the KS 750 squad. These are basically your motorcycle squads. They come equipped with the Thompson and MP40. I mean, they're pretty solid for Battle Tunisia, Tunisia. I don't really have a problem with them. They're just fun traversing the battlefield with their motorcycle squad and doing well. Now, game discounts. Look for discounts on logistic tabs, battle pass points, campaign levels, and squad slots. All right, so also keep in mind too, squad slots, especially if you're a premium player, you're gonna get that extra slot for vehicles and everything like that too. If you're playing a campaign a lot, like one you really, really main or you focus on, and you kind of want more to like kind of tools in your toolbox when you go out into combat to deal with like certain situations. For example, if I'm playing Germany and there's jumbo spam, well, I know I have a GU-288 I can take out to bomb the jumbo. I also have a Panther I can take out. I can also go take out my, anti-tank squad, stuff like that. So there's usually the kind of thought process you want to have when you go and play those campaign levels. You don't want to just spend gold to spend gold. And sometimes if you have a really good, you got what you need within the restricted squad slots, then you're good with that too. It's just all player preference. They're going down 50% off squads for gold for PC and consoles. Right, so this is pretty much the majority of my audience, right? So the PPT 27 squad, Battle Moscow. So I never really actually reviewed this one. I know it's one I've kind of looked at, but I got it, I played it a little bit, but I'm gonna have to do a hard pass on it, because the reason why is that it's just very gimmicky. It's close quarters, and most of the time in Battle Moscow you have medium to long range engagements, and the weapon doesn't really do that much damage compared to like a PPK-42, which is a premium assault squad that I had when the game first came out. But yeah, like compared to everything else, all the other premium squads you can pick up, I mean, it's really like one of the weakest ones. I would rather take the Chakot squad over it. That's how bad it is. Next, the Beretta M1918 squad for Battle Moscow for Germany. I already did a review on this one. Honestly, I mean, it's okay. If you didn't get the MP41 squad, I guess you can use this, but I mean, it isn't really anything special. I mean, my recommendations would probably go with MG30 over that. If you're like on a budget, go with the MG30. The BA-111 squad. All right, so this is pretty much like an armored car. We have the Valentine out right now in Enlisted. The BA-111, I think, has like a 45mm cannon on it. And basically can penetrate everything that the Germans have, probably besides the Panzer III-J. But other than that, I mean, it's okay. I don't really have a problem with it. Just don't expect it to have that much armor, just because it really, it's an armored car. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't got the Valentine, you want a cheaper alternative to it, then consider picking it up. Next, the Panzer 38T. This is honestly a great light tank. This is probably one of the most fun tanks, like my first premium I got in the game when it first came out. Highly recommend you pick this up, just because it's very, very, very good tank platform, performs very well, kind of deal with any threats, and it just, yeah, it's a great tank. I mean, of course, the thing you're gonna be worried about is like T50 and all that. I mean, T50s, I think I was able to penetrate it like at the turn. You had to aim at the turn on the T50, but I mean, yes, T50s are gonna be the problem you're gonna face against it, but generally it had really good armor for a light tank. I mean, it's a slower tank because it's Battle Moscow, early World War II tanks, but it's pretty fun. Arasaka Type 38 Carbine Squad. I know one of my viewers was really adamant about me covering this. Already did a review on it, check the playlist, but I mean, it's a premium engineer squad, and it builds, you know, machine gun nests, spawn points, anti-tank guns, anti-aircraft guns. I mean, if you don't have an engineer squad, you want to use it. Arasaka, in my opinion, takes a little while to get used to because the iron sights are kind of weird on it, but you get like 5-round magazine or something, but it fires very quickly, so it's kind of a trade-off. Like I said, if you want to engineer a premium squad and you haven't really played it yet, and you want something just because you know engineers build M machine gun nests, and that's how you basically get your points, maybe consider picking that up. The M28 rifle squad, actually for the Germans, it's actually a pretty good squad. I actually like the rifle, actually the iron sights on it actually performed very well. It does really well in close quarters. I actually was really surprised with it. When I first took it out, I wasn't really impressed, but does the same thing as any other engineer with premium squad would do. But the big thing about it is that the rifle is actually really good. So I would probably consider picking this up if you have not gotten this squad yet and want to kind of expedite your grind in the Battle Moscow. Now the I-16 Type 24 squad and the BF-109E7, did a review on both of these. Probably of all the premium aircraft in the game that reviewed, like these were the only two ones I was kind of interested in. The I-16 definitely is really fun to play. Of course, the rockets on it are kind of hit or miss. You will get some hits, you will not get some hits sometimes when you do your attack runs. Basically, you can outturn any fighter that the Germans have, so there's that. BF-109E7, it's okay, it's nothing really amazing. The 50 kilogram bombs kind of do some damage to infantry, but don't expect to be taking out tanks. You will lose in turn fights against pretty much all Soviet fighters. Even the IL-2 can somehow outturn you. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. M3 modification field squad for the Invasion Army for the Allies. Actually a pretty good squad. I actually would recommend picking it up. It's not a bad squad. The M3 field grease gun actually isn't bad. I actually had a lot of fun using it. Same with the Invasion Army MP18 squad for Germany. Not a bad squad either. Like I said, very cheap. I call them Ollie's bargain market, but they're gonna be really cheap because they're usually like, I think like 20 bucks or something like that. So half off, 10 bucks for that, that's a deal. I would pick it up. P51C10, the BF-109G6 squad, skip both of these. Reviewed the P51 and the G6. Honestly, was not impressed with both of them. I know one of my viewers like, Bungle, I am unsubscribing. You are terrible at aircraft, and you need to delete your channel and uninstall the game. And he probably was right, but at the same time, if I'm bombing with 100 kilogram bombs or 100 pound bombs, and they're not doing anything, my 50 cals don't do really anything to any fighters. Same with the BF-109G6. You got 20 millimeter cannons, 30 millimeter cannons, not doing anything to a P47 or A20G and stuff like that. I mean, kind of wasting your money in my opinion. I would pass. These usually go, I think, for like 35 bucks or whatever. I mean, you get better tech tree stuff, and the default BF-110 for the Germans is leagues better. And then once you get the P47, A20G for the Allies, you really don't need these premium squads. They're kind of useless. Premium planes. Invasion Army, the Johnson M1941, and the Invasion Army Gura 41 squad. Both are good pickups. No Gura 41 for Germany. Both are premium engineers. You know what engineers do. They go build, spawn points, machine gun nests, anti-tank turret, stuff like that. Both are really good rifles. I like the Johnson a lot. Very, very good fire rate. Does very well in close quarters and long range engagements. Gura 41 is a Gura 41. Nothing really more to say about that. Just, German semi-auto default weapon that all the Germans are equipped with, especially the Battle of Moscow. All right, now the next one, Invasion Army, the M24 squad, and the Panzer III-M. The Chaffee is terrible. Do not pick up the Chaffee. Do not spend money on the Chaffee. If you're going to spend money, we'll get to it later down the list, but the Jumbo is the one you want to go for. Do not spend your money on the Chaffee. The Chaffee cannot compete. The Chaffee can't compete at all. It can't, because it has a 75 millimeter gun when it's on a light tank, and the 75 millimeter gun on it, the AP isn't really that devastating. Yes, it can penetrate a Panzer III. Panzer IV, good luck. Panther, you're not going to penetrate it. You have a light tank, so basically imagine the M3 Stuart, but with weaker armor. Yeah, not a hard pass on for me. The Panzer III-M squad actually isn't bad. It's actually a very good, cheaper alternative to any other German premium squads that they have on sale for tanks and stuff like that. It's actually a 50 millimeter gun on a Panzer III platform, very mobile, trollish armor. Actually does pretty well. Of course, jumbos and stuff like that, you're gonna be hard to penetrate those. Same with, I think, the M4 platforms and Firefly. You're probably going to struggle a little bit on those. but when you're facing like M8 Scots or M3 Stuarts, you will go through their armor no problem. Now, going after Battle Berlin, the Mosin M44L and the Labelle 1886 M93 squad. So basically these are trooper squads. You get 9 soldiers with them. They're actually like a lot, like they mass and swarm the objective and everything like that. I really like the Mosin M44 rifle just because it performs very well at longer range and closer combat and stuff like that. Very, very good weapon. The Labelle, I don't really like that much. I think it got power cut too, just because with all the PPSH spam and everything like that you're facing, the Germans don't really have that, so I don't think you're experiencing that when you play the M44, but when you're playing in Germany with the Soviets having like all these submachine guns and everything like that, yeah, it gets kind of hard to kind of compete against that, and Labelle struggles really, really hard. So if you're looking at that, maybe consider looking at my Europe 03 review. I know it just came out, and it probably won't be on sale, but honestly, I'd rather have a really, really good squad versus 9 squads, versus the same type of squad with like lesser firepower and kind of give. Next, the Battle Berlin, the M4A276 squad, and the Panther A. All right, so honestly, these two are pretty good tanks. The Panther A is like a must if you're playing Germany, because if you're starting off with the Panzer IV-J, yeah, you're gonna have a rough time because the Panzer IV-J struggles to penetrate T-34-85s, gets one-shotted by T-34-85s. The Panther, at least you have a fighting chance. Now, of course, you can aim at the turret and the shot trap of the Panther, and that's how you kill it. But I mean, generally, some of the players that play the T-34-85s don't really know what they're doing, so you can kind of get a jump on them. And you can penetrate, aim for the turret ring or aim for like the flat part right above the driver's port. That's where you go and penetrate them. The M4A276 squad, basically the Sherman. Yes, it can penetrate Panzer IVs, it can penetrate Panther A's, aim for the shot trap. Problem with this with the M4 is it's an M4, so it's not going to have the T-34-85 trolley armor. It's going to be able to kind of get penetrated frontally and through a turret. So that's kind of the trade-off you have, but you have a premium squad, so there's that as well. Next, Battle Berlin, the P-63A-10 and the Bf-109G-14. I would skip these. These aircraft are useless. They do not have bombs or payloads or anything like that. They're just kind of, cannons in the nose, and you're supposed to go mow down infantry. But how you're going to do that when you have to be really precise and everything like that? Not worth it. Next, 30% off squads for PCs and consoles. So the AKT-40 squad and the Gewehr-41M squad for Battle Moscow. Basically, these are 9 trooper squads. The AKT-40 is basically a semi-auto, fully auto battle rifle, and is actually very good. Highly recommend picking that up. The Gewehr-41M squad is a semi-auto Gewehr-41 platform. It's okay. The fire rate on it, I think, got nerfed with the semi-auto nerf that Gaijin or Enlisted or Darkflow, whatever, decided was a great idea to do. So maybe consider passing on that, just because the semi-auto nerf kind of butchered some weapons and kind of like made weapons that were powerful kind of less powerful. Next, the Battle Moscow, the Valentine squad, and the Panzer IV-E squad. So the Valentine, in my opinion, is kind of it's very slow. It's got 3 crew members, and if you're facing a German player that knows what they're doing, they will penetrate you, and you're kind of SOL. The gun on it can go through Panzer IVs, Panzer IIIJs, and stuff like that. It's just the problem with the Valentine is that it's very slow, and it can get itself in situations that it kind of gets demo packed and everything like that. Not really a stronger tank compared to, let's say, a T50, but I mean, if you're looking at grinding down, you have a choice between this one and the BA-11. Honestly, I would go with the BA-11 just because the BA-11 is more agile. You can kind of move around the battlefield. The Valentine's just kind of like a slow lumbering truck. Now the Panzer IV-E is, you should pick this up. If you're playing Germany and you need a good grinder, you have a choice between the Panzer IV-AT and this, or you want to get both, get both, because this would expedite your grind in a heartbeat. Panzer IV-E is just, you get a heat shell on this tank, which basically is a high explosive anti-tank round that will go through any armor, even the T50, and can one-shot a lot of the tanks. And it basically plays as HE too, so yeah, you can just destroy infantry and everything like that. It's kind of an overpowered premium. I would say it's even pay to win. Now, Invasion of Normandy, the M50 Rising, the Irma EMP squad for Invasion of Normandy. All right, so M50 Rising and the Irma EMP squad, these are basically just like a step upgrade from the MP18 and the Grease Gun squads. In my opinion, if you want, kind of up the ante and get those, go ahead. I mean, they don't really stand out to me. They weren't bad, but they weren't really amazing. Honestly, I just stick with a cheaper option. That's my 2 cents, because in my opinion, they were just a step up in terms of just a little more firepower, but it wasn't really that noticeable in my opinion. Now, of course, the Invasion of Normandy, the M4E1, E2 is Sherman overpowered jumbo. Yeah, if you're playing Allies and you haven't gotten a premium tank yet, this is the one to get. like, you need to go pick up this squad because it's overpowered, it's pay to win. The jumbo is just, there's a lot of angry people on the forums that get really bad with the jumbo. Every day you will see a thread on the Enlisted official forum with someone demanding that Dark Flow remove the jumbo from the game, or they will charge back their credit card. So there's that as well. The BF-109, 10, yeah, another BF-109, just skip that. T-34E squad, Battle Berlin. Honestly, this is actually, it was pretty good. It's just a T-3485 with side skirts. Well, yeah, I mean, the T-3485 is broken, so yeah, it will work against Panzerfaust and everything like that. The model of T-3485 is wonky anyway, so with that alongside kind of shielding, yeah, it's just going to make this tank kind of even more overpowered than what it is. Honestly, if you haven't played Battle Berlin yet and you're looking for a good Soviet grinder and you want to get the Sherman and that's probably your best bet. That would be, like, you'd be pretty much set using those two. Now, the Panzer IV-J Armored, this tank is just terrible. I would not recommend picking it up. When I first reviewed it, I thought it was okay. I thought the side skirts and all that, extra track armor would do well for it, but nope, it still gets one-shotted. It still struggles to penetrate 234-85 spam. It's really not a good backup to the point where I have to go and just basically use a Tech Tree Panther in addition to my Panther A when I'm grinding the Germans, just because it's that bad. All right, Battle Tunisia, Battle Tunisia, the STEM Mark III and FNAB 43 squad. I mean, these are really good assault squads if you just want, like, grinders for Battle Tunisia, because there really isn't that many premium squads there in that campaign. They're both pretty good. I mean, they're not like overpowered. They're pretty balanced. Very easy to pick up and play. New player friendly, I would say. Battle Tunisia, the A13 and the M13 40 series. So the A13 is a British, I think it's a Combinator or whatever tank, and the M13 is kind of like the medium tank for the Italians. A13 is pretty good. If it does not get like attacked at all by the Italian armored cars, M13s or whatever, it actually will go and like destroy infantry. Like, you would just go crazy using it. If you're using the M13, it's kind of slower a little bit. It's like a 45mm cannon with a little longer reload. It can kind of go through the armor of A13s and everything like that, but you will struggle when you face like leads and everything like that as well. So keep that in mind. I know that especially playing as the Axis in Tunisia right now, it's a really bad experience, a little really rough experience, just because the teams aren't really that good, and then they're facing as really stacked allied teams with M3 Grants and all that stuff. So maybe consider playing a match or two, seeing how it's going, and if it's really bad for you and you're getting one shot left and right of your tanks by Lees, just don't pick up the M13. Well, for this point in the video, I hope this kind of helped you all with like recommendations of what to pick up and everything like that. Really comes down to simple things: your player preference, what campaign mode you play the most. Especially if you're playing on a budget, my recommendation is, find the campaign mode that you really like playing, and get it for both sides, just because if you like the maps, you like the gameplay, you like kind of how the meta made it is, you'll have fun. If you're playing on a budget, focus on the campaign that you really like playing the most. Get the premium squads that you will do well in. If you're really good at tanks, then get the tank squads. If you're really good at playing infantry, get, assaulters, stuff like that. Like, play to the best. Use your wallet to advance you in the best way that you play, so that way you're not kind of just getting something that you're not good at, like a premium aircraft, which are pretty much useless. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate all the constant feedback and support, and I hope you all take care.